All right, so today we're doing something a little different.
Oh,
Yeah, still a deep dive, but instead of like, a topic,
right.
we're diving into people.
Okay.
A whole creative agency, actually, called the Peeps.
Interesting.
It's like, imagine bringing a LinkedIn profile to life, but way more dynamic than just, scrolling through someone's resume.
I can see that. It does make you think about the human element in a field that's often, I don't know, associated with algorithms and data.
Totally. And the humans in this case are Derek Amedzai and Richard Dorton, the co-founders of the Peeps.
Okay.
And these two, get this, they go way back. They actually founded another company together, Tiny Giant, before starting the Peeps.
Wow. So they've got that, what do they call it? Entrepreneurial synergy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But here's where it gets interesting. You check out their LinkedIn profiles, and it's like night and day. Derek, total tech whiz. I'm talking Drupal, WordPress, Node.js.
The backbone of the internet.
Exactly. But then there's Richard. His profile is all about the creative stuff, copywriter, art director. He's even listed as an NFT artist.
Huh. Yeah, that kind of duality, that blend of technology and art, it makes you wonder if that's not part of what creative AI really is, wouldn't you say?
That's a really good point. Actually, can we talk about that term for a second? Creative AI. What does it even mean? Because I feel like sometimes people hear that and they just think AI art.
Right, and while AI is definitely a big part of it, creative AI is broader, it casts a wider net.
How so?
Well, think of it like this. Anytime artificial intelligence is used to make something new, something original, that's creative AI.
So it's not limited to just images or paintings like we see with a lot of AI art.
Exactly. It can be text, music, even like product designs.
So it's less about what is being created and more about the AI being a tool for creative expression.
Yes. And the Peeps are a great example of that.
It's true. When you look at their website, the range of projects is kind of mind-blowing.
Right.
I mean, websites, AR lenses, they even have a listing for Munker's Garkle, which, I'll be honest.
What?
Yeah, it threw me at first, too. Turns out it's, get this, the world's first AI-crafted gin.
Wow. See, that's what I mean. It's easy to get caught up in thinking AI is just for making variations of things that already exist.
Yeah.
But this is using AI to invent something completely new. That's interesting.
Talk about thinking outside the box. Okay, but I think it's time we dig into some of these projects in more detail. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Okay, so one that really jumped out at me was Ada, which they describe as the world's first AI science curator.
Interesting. It makes you wonder, especially with their involvement in events like the Cheltenham Science Festival, if they're using AI to make these complex topics, more accessible.
Right. It's like personalized learning,
Yeah.
but on a whole other level.
Definitely.
Okay, but then, on a totally different note, they also did work with Peter Crouch.
The footballer.
Yeah, creating those Instagram and Snapchat filters where you can basically turn yourself into Peter Crouch. I bet tons of people have used those without even realizing it's AI behind it.
It's subtle, right? And it just kind of blends into the background of our digital lives.
Exactly. Oh, and speaking of subtle, their project with Papa John's, that was fascinating. They basically minted and gave away like almost 40,000 NFTs to pizza lovers.
Really? 40,000?
Yeah, can you believe that?
That's wild.
40,000 NFTs. It's like a whole digital pizza party.
Right. It really shows how they're tapped into these emerging technologies. NFTs, Web3, the metaverse. They're not just dipping their toes in, they're really engaging with it.
And not just engaging with the tech, but also the bigger picture,
Absolutely. The ethics of it all, the
Yeah.
potential impact. I mean, they even presented to the Advertising Standards Authority about generative AI.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It is huge because, and then this is something I appreciate, they're not shying away from the tougher questions.
Not at all.
Like, how do we make sure this technology is used responsibly? What are the ethical considerations? It's kind of funny, right? We started with your LinkedIn profiles.
Right.
And now we're talking about the future of AI and its impact on society.
Well, it's all connected, isn't it? The Peeps work, it just shows how AI is weaving its way into every aspect of our lives.
Totally. And speaking of connections, I was checking out their upcoming events, a section, and they're going to be at the Cheltenham Literature Festival.
Oh, wow. Interesting combo.
Right, for a session called Poets Against the Machine. I mean, come on, that title alone.
It definitely makes you think, doesn't it? As AI gets better and better at, well, mimicking human creativity, how do we even define what art is?
Such a good question. It's like AI is forcing us to re-examine our whole definition of creativity. And it's not just in the arts, right? Because they're also part of the Good Innovation AI Futures Safari happening in London, which to me says they're thinking about the broader impact of AI.
Definitely. It's not just about the cool factor, it's about understanding the implications, the potential downsides, and figuring out how to navigate this new landscape.
Exactly. But with all this talk about potential and the future, what does it actually mean for like someone listening to this right now? What's the takeaway?
That's the key question, isn't it? And I think the Peeps are a perfect example of how AI isn't just this, abstract concept reserved for tech geniuses.
Right.
It can be a tool for anyone with a creative vision.
Well, I love that AI is a tool for everyone. But it also makes you wonder, what happens when AI gets so good at creating that it like rivals or even surpasses human capabilities?
Whoa.
Then what?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? But what if, instead of fearing it, we embraced it? What if we saw AI not as a replacement, but as a collaborator?
Ooh, I like where you're going with this.
Imagine AI helping you overcome writer's block by suggesting these wild plot twists you'd never think of on your own, or generating custom soundtracks for, I don't know, whatever you're working on.
It's like having a digital muse on demand, constantly pushing you to explore new creative avenues.
Exactly. And think about it. AI could handle the tedious, repetitive stuff, freeing us up to focus on the things that are uniquely human emotions, storytelling, those big picture ideas.
So it becomes less about what can AI create and
Well,
more about what can we create with AI. It completely shifts the conversation.
it does. But even as AI changes how we create, it's still on us to guide its development, make sure its benefits are shared fairly, address things like bias and algorithms, the ethical implications of AI-generated content. You know,
Right, because like any powerful tool, it can be used for good or bad. It all comes down to our choices.
exactly. And that's something I really admire about the Peeps, their commitment to education and open dialogue about these issues.
Yes. It's not just about building the tools, it's about building a community around AI, encouraging responsible exploration. Like those workshops, the Poets Against the Machine event, it's about making AI accessible and understandable to everyone.
Which is key. We need that balance, the excitement for the possibilities, but also the critical thinking about the challenges.
It's amazing, really. We started with two guys and their LinkedIn profiles, and now we're talking about the future of creativity.
It's been quite a journey, hasn't it?
It really has. So as we kind of start to wrap up this deep dive into the Peeps and creative AI, I want to leave you with a final thought.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen how AI can help us, create a new gen or design those wild AR filters. But what if we shifted our perspective a little? Like, what if instead of just focusing on the end product, the thing we create, we thought about how AI can help us unlock our own creative potential?
And that's an interesting thought. It's like instead of AI being the creator, it's almost like a creative coach,
Right.
analyzing your style, your preferences, and then using that data to suggest new directions you might never have considered on your own.
It's like imagine having this hyper-personalized creative coach available 24/7, helping you break through those mental blocks.
Exactly. And suddenly it's not just about professionals or tech people, it's about anyone being able to tap into that creative potential.
That's a powerful thought. So for our listeners out there, anyone who might be feeling, I don't know, a little bit inspired right now, what's one key takeaway, one thing you hope they remember from our deep dive into the Peeps and this whole world of creative AI?
Honestly, don't be afraid to just experiment, to play around. Think of AI as a partner in the creative process, not something intimidating or out of reach.
Yes. Yeah, like the Peeps, they embody that spirit of playfulness, that willingness to try new things. And, you don't have to be a tech genius to get started. There are so many resources available now, and who knows, maybe one day you'll be the one inspiring us with your creative use of AI.
Yeah, that's a future I want to see.
Me too. This deep dive has really, I don't know about you, but it's really opened my eyes to the possibilities here. And hey, who knows, maybe we'll have to get the Peeps themselves on the show sometime. What do you think?
I love that.
All right, well, that's it for our deep dive into the world of the Peeps and creative AI. We covered a lot today, but more than anything, I hope this sparked your curiosity, got you thinking about the possibilities of AI in your own life. Until next time, keep those creative sparks flying.